Perfect. So we are going to start with this book reading. And as we know that the Vesak is approaching, so we have to go into a zone where we can purify ourselves, be in a meditative state. We can be more and more receptive to the divine energy. So let us recall and understand about the teachings of the Lord Buddha, about Lord Buddha. So today we are picked up a topic from this book called the Buddha Sutra, a dialogue by the Glorious One by the Torkam Saradaria, right? So Torkam Saradaria. So the credit of the entire next till the time we are doing this book goes to the TSG Foundation. Loving thanks to the TSG Foundation for giving me this opportunity to be in service. So we are going to start from this a few word section, that what is the purpose this book has been, beautiful book has been written, and then we'll start the chapter dialogue reading. So let me just read. Be receptive, just listen, offer yourself as an instrument to hear. This book is the result of the study of hundreds of books about the Lord Buddha and the result of long years of meditation on his precious teachings. I think that we gave 2,500 years ago is still a living, influential and dynamic teachings in its essence. Each portion of this book is written with devotion to the Lord Buddha in relating his teachings to the teaching of Christ and to the ageless wisdom given through many traditions. I am sure my readers will appreciate what I have tried to present. Those who are crystallized in various forms of Buddhism may confront a challenge to approach this teaching from a new angle. I suggest that this book be read slowly with reflective meditation and contemplation. I am sure the effect will be very beneficial in your daily life and in your approach to the problems of life and death and to the social and economic problems of the world. It will specially help you not to carried away with the various difficulties confronting you in the world and in pains and sufferings of the world. This book will help you keep your spiritual equilibrium in the mid of the turmoil of life and help you a point of light, service, and loving understanding. During my writing of this book, I was able to penetrate into my soul a little more and into the meaning of the law of compassion. So, can we recall law of compassion? Law of compassion we talk about in the couple of previous sessions. I felt, so remember that teaching, and when we will be reading this, just keep that understanding in the mind. I felt that the Lord Buddha was teaching this law to humanity through his every word and through every action in his life by Torkam Saradaria in the year 1994. Let us just read what is written in the first chapter, prologue. I'll go a little slow. You can be receptive. You can be in a meditative posture also. Okay, depends upon you. The birth of Lord Buddha occurred on that day when the supernatural light broke out of the cloud of substance and matter and poured into space as a mighty river of creative forces. One of the rays of the light throughout centuries individualized and took human form to visit millions of globes starving for light and for wisdom. He became a light in our galaxy and brought joy and love and freedom and a striving towards perfection. We know that during the Vesak time for 8 minutes, Lord Buddha comes to our planet for the purpose of blessings, right? So again, just read it and just hear it. He became a light in our galaxy. We know when he came physically on our planet in the physical body as a great world teacher and got the enlightenment, initiation at a very high level and nirvana. So that time he was a part of our galaxy, right? And he brought through his teachings love and joy and a striving towards perfection. This occurred many millions of years ago. And because of his fiery devotion, he became a path of light in solar systems. Solar system नहीं है, solar systems. In our galaxy. So we know in our galaxy there are various solar systems. So that means his incarnation would have been in different, possibly in different galaxies, in different solar systems too. And prepared Buddhas. Those whose numbers are as the sands of the shores of the oceans. They carried the same light. They were humans or angelic in form, all taught by the original mighty Buddha. So when we say Buddha, that doesn't mean the Gautama Buddha, but the Buddha. Buddha is the Christ energy, the way higher energy, right? Each of them became a carrier of light. Each of them became a carrier of compassion, beauty, joy, and energy. So that is why when we see in the Buddhism, like, you know, there are various Buddhas for different energy types. The original Buddha, the outflow of light, is the primordial one who taught the teachings of light throughout millions of years to millions of aspirants until they are able to contain his light and turn into Buddhas. This dialogue is with the Buddha who incarnated again and again throughout space and time. And on our planet, he called himself Siddhartha, the Buddha. Chapter 2, 7 Stars is the name of the chapter. How the Buddha, Lord Buddha, came into our planet. My Lord, I like the legend about you. When you were born, the legend says you, upright and firm, unconfused in mind, took 7 steps, the soles of your feet resting evenly on the ground, and as you walked, your footprints remained bright as 7 shining stars. Can you recall it with the session we had? 7 shining stars, 7 rishis. Remember, law of compassion, the energy, the ray descending into 7 rays, right? And then further splitting into 49. Yes? Even when you look at just like a picture kind of a view, because we human, we understand through physical understanding and pictures and all. So you'll see when the Lord Buddha was walking, actually, you know, the 7 steps were brilliant like a light, right? So what was those 7 steps? It was as if the shining stars, because he's come from far beyond. We think Lord Buddha is just from our planet, no, but it is not. My Lord, your path was directed by the 7 stars, by the 7 rays. Can we recall now what we studied then? To spread in this universe the wisdom you brought from the 7 stars. Your feet were not on the earth, you were walking on the stars, linking together the rays of the 7 stars. So when he was born, he already had those energies of the great 7 rishis. Listen to this, each chakra in your body corresponds to these stars and to the footprints of your path as you walked. I mean, every time I read this, my heart and crown is just way beyond activated. I mean, how priceless this must have been around, even as some servant who's cleansing his room also. How priceless good karma was that person had, who was just cleansing his, room, dusting his room. Okay, as we have 9 minutes, we'll just start the 3rd chapter, The Light Revealed. This is actually in a dialogue. So many teachings will come to the surface through many examples. So this entire is actually in a meditative thing, because I don't know for you, is it the same or not? As I'm reading it, I'm feeling my energy is just flowing through. Heart and crown is getting activated, right? So chapter 3 is very big, the light revealed. Let's see how much we can complete today. The light revealed, your birth, my Lord, as spoken by your early disciples, was only a phenomena. You were never really born. You never really died. Millions and millions of years ago, you reached enlightenment and became one with the light of cosmos. Light of compassion. You had many experiences in many places in the universe. You appeared in many forms. But my Lord, wherever you were, in whatever human form, you spread light through your actions, through your compassion, through your thoughts, and through your contact with the vortex in the universe. Vortex, remember? I told you it's like that Fohat energy, which is up and down. And just like we see this vortex, the crystal vortex, it's just a replica in the mineral form of the vortex energy. Vortex means the energy is just flowing up and down thoroughly in a balanced way. So now we can understand that in during the Vesak for 8 minutes, Lord Buddha comes to our planet for the blessing. So what about the other times? He must be somewhere. Blessings. His presence is a blessing. So when great ones are continuously doing their activity, no? Lord Buddha, your name was on my lips from childhood. My father said you were the wisest man who never wanted to be worshipped as a god. And we know that Buddha himself, his teaching says that he never says that I am the God. He always said, I am awake. I just got awake, nothing else. In spite of my love for you, a time came when I could not pronounce your name without intense hatred of the so-called followers of love. One day, my Lord, in my lecture, I spoke about how you had renounced the world. The next day, the parish wanted me to resign. I love you as I love your brother, the Christ. So Christ and Buddha, they are of the same ray type, love and wisdom. The energies of the Christ is more loving, and the same soul energy in the form of the Buddha, Lord Buddha, is wisdom. That is why teachings are very practical and to the point. Okay, there is a suffering, there is a way out. You brought the path of wisdom. He brought love. Ray 2, love and wisdom. He brought love, you brought wisdom. And you both built the bridge of love wisdom across the river of life. River of life. My Lord, many, many years I followed your steps. As I traced your path, your beauty increased immensely in my soul. Many, many times I wanted to talk with you and directly receive your wisdom. But I thought, my Lord, you were in nirvana and not interested in a fellow human being full of burdens of life. But as I watched your beauty within my heart, I was charged with courage and fire to approach and to converse with you. Now, what is this fire? Alignment. Strive to grow on the path, upward movement. Remember, that is why these teachings are very priceless, as we understand them deeply. The books say that you insisted again and again that we must work out for our own salvation with our own hands and feet and be our own refuge. I love your words, my Lord. No man can achieve strength of spirit by leaning upon another man to take the kingdom of God. Yes, we are all there to help each other, but at the end of the day, we have to work on our individual karmas. Once we start working on our individual karma, then only we can start, helping other person go at a higher level of karma. But if we are not working on our own karma, then how we can help other person? That is why there is a very slight difference between the selfishness and self-love. If we are not practicing helping ourselves, then the purpose should be that I'm helping myself so that I can help 100 more people. So at this point of corona or pandemic, I would say we should try to be at take precautions so that we can take precautions and do more and more healings for other person. It is not self-centeredness, it is rather being try to be an intelligent servant, divine servant. So even God says that no man can achieve the strength of spirit by leaning upon another man to take the kingdom of God. So nobody can take us to the kingdom of God. Everyone can help us. The teachings can guide us. The guru can guide us, dispel the darkness within us. But we have to walk and tread on the path. We have to tread on the path. You taught us to be strong, to stand upon our own feet and trust the presence of the Almighty power within us. So He can always show the way, but we have to walk on the way. Because there's always a free will, no? Your teaching was a challenge to develop the power of will, the power of thought, and the beauty of deeds. You prepared warriors of light who, by all means, dispelled darkness and achieved enlightenment because and became shining lights. So if we know at the era of the Lord Buddha, when the teacher was there in the physical body, through his teachings, this great initiate, through his teachings, many ordinary souls became arhats. Of course, there was karmic entitlement. Through his teachings, he converted many souls into arhats. That is achieving oneness with the higher self, fourth initiation itself. Ages after, your brother affirmed your words and said, "Let your light shine." My Lord, I know you can communicate deep in thought, and I will now collect my mind and focus it on your light and present my questions. I know your answers will come to me like the fresh springs of the mountains and quench my thirst. My Lord, you spoke about illuminations, and books say you were named the Enlightened One. Could you help me how it happened? Could you tell me how can one achieve illumination? For me, my Lord, illumination is the most essential light on the path of earthy darkness. Without light, we cannot find our path. Without light, we cannot find our path. Every one of us is a light in essence, covered by earthy attachments, by the fever of by the fever of our hatred, and blinded by our ignorance. So I'll just pause here. Till page number 19 we have read. Again, as we move ahead, without moving ahead, the purpose is not to just read this and open our heart and crown, but the purpose is that we know Vaisakh is approaching, the energy of Taurus full moon is approaching, the hierarchy is at its peak, the angelic beings are coordinating with the hierarchy. We tiny little human beings, we should also try to align our will with thy will. Not only should we prepare our subtle bodies, but actually we should, for next couple of days, we should not only read the books but try to see how this book can help, these teachings, priceless teachings, can help us in dispelling the darkness. Darkness is very closely related with the accurate perception and correct expression, or the intelligence aspect of the soul. So knowing is one thing, as our teacher says, knowing is one thing, practicing is another. So right now we have understood, yes, we have to work on our hatred. Yes, we have to work and dispel our earthy attachment. So just pause here and think that which area of our life there is a suffering. And let's Create a powerful will that I do not wish to suffer anymore. I have to put an end. And yes, I can do that with the help of the Almighty and because in the name of Almighty, everything is possible. So try to remove it and ask more of that quality which is lacking within us as a soul. So if there is a crisis, it can be dispelled with the help of the God. So rather than instead of meditating on the crisis, let us meditate also. Once we have done the purification, we have done our part. Let them do their part. Let's ask more and more for the energies, because this is the time when we can not only get the energies but also we should start assimilating it. It's very important, equally important. We think, we have done meditation, we have so much of golden aura in the energy in the aura, blissful meditation. No, we have to assimilate that energy, bring it into the physical matter. We have to literally start trying to live with the teachings. Acha, ठीक है, I've done this mistake. No, let me try to change it. ठीक है, this time नहीं हो पाया. I will do it again. I'll do it again. And one day we will reach towards that perfection. So till then, let's not beat ourselves with our own so much of expectations. Rather, let's be aware of our earthy attachments, earthy energies, which is covered and we cannot see that light, but yes, we are the light, we are the love, we are the power. And see how we can purify them. So what are the energies which are stopping us, right? So with that note, we'll meet soon, and this will be uploaded so that others can also listen on YouTube, and others can also go through it if they are interested in the teachings. And with that note, let us give thanks properly before we end the session. Salutations to the Supreme God, salutations to the Lord Surya, salutations to the Lord Buddha, salutations to the Lord Christ, salutations to the entire member of the hierarchy, especially to our beloved teacher, Grandmaster Choco Sui, to his teacher Mahaguruji Mere. Salutations to, special thanks to the Torkam Saradariya sir, special thanks to the TSG Foundation, special thanks to all the angelic beings, angels of knowledge, who is helping us to read this priceless teaching of this brilliant, great soul. Thank you for this priceless knowledge, for priceless teachings. Thank you for helping us the inner courage to purify ourselves and transmute ourselves into light, divine love, divine power. Thanks, and in full faith for this priceless opportunity and priceless teachings. Thank you. So be it. With lots and lots of love, gratitude, so be it. Atma Namaste. Thank you so much for joining in the session, and we will meet soon. If you have liked it, please share your feedback and share it on the YouTube with the people who you think they can connect with it. Thank you.